Because
well, he was off his box at the end of the last show.
He was too. That was just like, dude.
Funny.
And it was funny because you saw the change go slowly, and I noticed
slurring.
it. Yeah. He started slurring his words, and I wanted to say something, but I was like, I'm just gonna let it go. Let people can figure it out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Started dropping.
Exactly. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our UFC Belfast, UFC Sao Paulo pre-fight show presented by CrossBonesMMA. Of course, we have 2 cards this weekend, and one in the morning, one in the afternoon. It's a full day of MMA. Also have, in case you guys don't know, Lion fight tonight. Invicta FC actually might be on right now. Bellator's tomorrow night.
Watch Lion fight tonight. There's a friend of my my son's Muay Thai coach is fighting for a title tonight. Jake Purdy. Watch him. He's a brilliant fighter. There
you go. Now you got something to look forward to. Yeah. So of course we got Jesse out of LA. We got Dave Rodriguez out of ABQ and Andy from the other side of the pond. Well, let's get started right away with the first card. We'll talk about UFC Belfast first, real quick, just because we need to get out of the way. Everybody saw the Bigfoot Silva fight, right? At least some part of it. I know Jesse probably missed it, right? Did you miss the fight, Jesse?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay,
well, go back and watch those highlights, because I put highlights because it was
fight's the wrong word.
Yeah, that wasn't. I was just weird. It was weird, right? But I mean, if you could pay anybody, look, you're not paying me $500,000 to lose a fight and take all that damage. Because look, he was getting the shit beat out of him on the ground in the first round. I was like, dude, okay, so can we stop the fight now? Like, we can stop it now, right? Like, what the fuck? It was ridiculous. So, Dave, real quick, what was your impression of the fight there, or lack of?
Yeah, I mean, it came quicker than I thought. I mean, he's really just bouncing right back in there and, looking for a good payday. I mean, like we were talking before we went live, I mean, he basically, what he was projected to get paid would equal to about, 3 or 4 bouts in the UFC. So we know he's no longer part of the UFC. So it was either this or possibly go into Bellator. So very, very weird, just strange fight. I'm fresh just off of watching it just like, half an hour ago or so. But, yeah, he took some shots in there, man. I mean, we all know Roy Nelson, kind of held back, and the whole thing where he's suspended now tied into him not putting any damage onto Bigfoot, but he definitely took some shots and some serious damage in there today. So hopefully he gets paid. Andy knows what I'm talking about. So yeah, I mean, it's a big payday for him. So that's what he was there for. And I hope the man gets paid. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, Andy, you said it, man. It's weird. You can't use the word fight. It was weird.
It was a circus show is what it was. It's it's a Russian promoter signing a big name in the MMA world that's been going around for years and putting him against some guy that's been on more gear than Mark Kerr ever was.
Shit.
And the reffing in that just baffled me. I mean, I couldn't believe what the ref was doing. He was bringing him back into the center and standing him up and putting them down and moving them all over the ring. It was odd. It was an odd fight. And yeah, if Bigfoot gets paid, I'll be surprised.
Yeah. As soon as the fight was over, I was like, I hope that $500K was worth it, dude. Because damn, it was just like I said, it was odd. It was weird. It was a weird thing to watch. It was hard to watch because Bigfoot took a lot of damage. He got hit harder and he got hit way more than when he fought Roy Nelson, and Roy Nelson held back. All right, so fuck.
Well, it's like I said off air. I genuinely thought in that second round at the end of it that he'd been paid to take a dive because it was that bad.
It looked like it, right? I mean, he didn't look too upset about losing. He was like, "Oh, whatever, I know, Russian fucking Hulk beat my ass, and then I beat his ass in the third round when he was all gassed out." But
perhaps he's going to be another friend of Putin and get Russian citizenship along with Steven Seagal and bloody Roy Jones Jr. and everybody else.
Oh Jesus, it is a circus. It's all circus, man. I know it's all circus. Fuck it. Anyway, this is what the sport's going to watch, and in just maybe 10 years, 15 years. It's all going to be just circus shit everywhere because everyone always wants to make money. But,
And he'll be back. I mean, more than likely, we haven't seen the last of Bigfoot. I mean, we're coming fresh off this beating here, but I guarantee you we'll see the guy back sooner than expected.
I hope fans take up the collection to, make sure he's on a bunch of shit. I want him on all the juice.
I don't know about anything else.
Yeah, right? But put him on all the juice. Put him on all the juice because fuck it. Shit. Anyway, all right. So, over the main cards here. We're going to go over the main cards of each card this weekend. Of course, UFC Belfast and then UFC Sao Paulo. But and then we'll talk about a couple prelims here. Because, of course, if it's a free card, usually the prelims aren't much to talk about. So we'll only pick out a couple here. All right, so let's start off with UFC Belfast. Let me pull up the stats here. So the UFC Fight Pass prelims start off at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time, or a.m. Eastern time. No, well, what the fuck? They're early shit. 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. Or okay, fuck everything. I'm out of it. I'm so tired, dude. I just got done fucking working out and shit. All right.
The big hands at the what and the little hands where?
Look, man, I don't know. Anyway, look, I had to go from Spanish to English as a little kid, and it fucking got lost in translation. All right, we didn't learn that shit.
Yeah, those watches are different on every country, aren't they?
It is, man. We're in Trump's America now. I don't want to hear that shit, Andy. Fucking. All right. Anyway, bypass prelims start at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. That makes it 12:30, just afternoon, on the eastern side of the country here. Then the main card starts at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern time for a nice early card. If it was the only card I want to be, that'd be, I like those early cards. I'm not a big fan of a full day MMA because I get kind of MMA'd out. So let's talk about Conor McGregor's teammate Artem Lobov taking on Ishihara. Ishihara is the I love my bitches guy, right?
Sexy Hara.
Yep.
Sexy Hara. Did you know they're not gonna allow him to say that shit anymore?
Oh,
it's fucked up.
That, well, not surprising.
I still want that T-shirt. Fucking,
I bet you he says it. And about an hour after the fight, there'll be a picture of him in a bed in a hotel with like 6 or 7 women, like he did last time.
Dude, and he did that in Utah. All right, and nobody believes me when I say that. Never mind. We're gonna get really crazy with the religious shit. We're gonna just piss off like half the country right now. Anyway, so Lobov against Ishihara. Lobov, of course, is the Russian Hammer. He's basically a walking heavy bag for people that just he beats up skinny little guys named Chris Avila. That's about as good as he can do. Taking on Ishihara, who's actually pretty multi-talented. So let's go with Dave here. What do you think about this fight? Who are you picking?
It's a strange fight. Artem Lobov coming off a win. I mean, that's strange. So yeah, he's coming off a win.
That's never been said in the UFC. Think about it. Never been said in the UFC.
So yeah, like you mentioned, the Avila fight. I mean, Avila just recently came off another loss in which I don't know if we'll ever see Chris Avila compete in the UFC. I thought they wouldn't have brought him back after the Lobov fight, but they're kind of similar fighters. I mean, they fight a similar style. But Ishihara has just got way much more upside. I mean, Lobov, like I agree with you. He's basically just a punching bag for Conor McGregor in training camp at SBG. So, but hey, man, he's coming off a win. He wants to continue the trend of these SBG guys, keeping it real up there because they've been I mean, Conor's their dude. Artem's known for being just associated with Conor. That's basically all the reason we know this cat for. But yeah, coming off a win up against Ishihara. Ishihara, I believe, he fought Gutierrez, right? Horatio Gutierrez.
Yeah.
He finished him in the first round. I think he took some shots in there. So yeah, it is a first round finish overall. Tremendous upside for this kid. I think he's a complete stud at 45, and I think he probably runs to Mr. Artem Lobov, even though he's got a lot of support over there. The event being over in Belfast, so it's going to be just it's a strange card. I mean, a lot of the prelims are on Fight Pass. It's a pretty somewhat stacked card for a lot of the hardcores. I guess they can, you can pick and choose where you want on the prelims, but this fight kicking it off, it should start things off pretty nicely. And I think Ishihara probably gets it done in under 2 rounds. I think he'll be super tough in there. There's already pictures like you guys are talking about, people photoshopping in a bunch of chicks with him and wearing the gooch and shit like that. So who knows though? Yeah, I guarantee you, like Andy said, coming off a win, you'll see a picture surface from somewhere in downtown Ireland at some hotel with numerous bitches, in which that sucks that the guy's not allowed to say that anymore. That's just like whatever. But what the fuck, man?
He's never seen Northern Irish women before then.
Oh jeez. I've heard rumors. All right, Jesse, what do you think about this fight, man? Who are you picking?
Yeah, I gotta agree. I think Taruto has a lot more weapons to win the fight. I just think I've always said it. I think Artem Lobov is a guy that got lucky being attached to Conor McGregor's hype train, and he basically attached his little crappy cart onto there and made it into the big show. And I think basically all he has is his punching power, and that's about it. Nothing else. So I think Ishihara is going to be able to avoid the power punch and be able to knock him out.
Funny,
first round.
As we're talking about this right now, Taruto Ishihara, I saw a Taruto Ishihara tweet. Says, no one can drop me unless you're a woman. Women are a beautiful thing. This guy's just like a ball of testosterone trying to impregnate as many bitches as he can. That's just kind of what he is, I think. But Andy, who are you picking in this one?
Ishihara. I think he's brilliant. He's a breath of fresh air. We need some decent Asian fighters as well. There's too few of them, and there's an awful lot of decent Asian fighters, but there are too few of them in the UFC, and they've shown that they can talk the talk as well, and the broken English makes it even funnier. So
hell yeah, it does.
So I'm with Jesse. Within the first round, I think Ishihara is just going to knock Lobov out, which would be fun because Conor McGregor's repeatedly going to be in his corner.
Is he really going to be in his corner?
Apparently, that's what I'd heard. So if he is, then he'll be able to watch that, and it'll be interesting to see what happens when his friend Conor McGregor takes on, or if he ever takes on, Khabib, because with a Russian in Ireland that loves pretending that he's Irish.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Why, but that'll be an interesting decision for him to make, won't it?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he's getting knocked on his ass at the weekend.
Yeah, Putin's gonna give him a call and be like, "Hey, look, man, you got to pick sides."
No, we don't want him back. Putin wouldn't want him back. He's not a winner, is he?
He's like, "Yeah, you're Irish, motherfucker. Just stay there." All right.
And then on the numbers, on that fight though, Ishihara's favorite -250, Lord Lobov +200, moderate underdog.
Vegas agrees with this. That fucker's just a walking heavy bag. He's gonna be just punched all the time. All right, moving on. Next fight up is a heavyweight bout between Tim Johnson and Alexander Volkov. We've seen Tim Johnson before. Volkov is 6'7". I did not know that shit. And his nickname is Drago. So, what the fuck?
Wasn't he's been a heavyweight champion in an organization before? It wasn't.
I'm not sure, but I just heard Jesse. Jesse was drinking whatever he was drinking. It sounded like a Pepsi commercial. I was waiting here. I was waiting here. Pepsi, some shit like that. Like straight up. Anyways, yeah. Alexander Volkov. He's actually pretty from what I've seen, because I've only seen him myself on YouTube. He's pretty damn balanced. He's got good striking. He's got decent, ground game. I'm not sure. What do you train on the ground? Anybody know?
Well, he was a M1 champion, right? And then
that's right.
That's right. And he's a Bellator guy as well, so that's where he's coming off of, is the M1 heavyweight champion over there.
And he was the Bellator champion, or a contender at least, over there in Bellator.
Oh shit! If he can't win the Bellator heavyweight championship, I'm kind of not hopeful at all.
I think he was though. I think he was honestly. Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Well, how about this, Jesse? Kick it off. Who you picking?
To me, it's pretty obvious here. Volkov has a lot of upside here, and Tim Johnson. I think we've seen his ceiling. His ceiling is being the tough guy that he's a throwback fighter. Bald head, mustache, fists up, just throwing punches. He might as well be a guy in a bar just fighting. I think Alexander Volkov picks him apart from every direction. Just basically all the holes that Tim Johnson has are going to be exposed in this fight, and I think we're going to be seeing Johnson relegated to maybe World Series of Fighting, Bellator, something, in the lower ranks. I look to see Volkov really show off what he can, because, he's not very high on this card. I think a guy of his level should be, main carding, or main eventing, actually. And I think he needs to step it up, and, because we need these type of guys in this division. It's a pretty stale division in my opinion. You only have like 3 or 4 contenders, and they've all fought each other. They've all knocked each other out. So, hopefully he can get a good win and, start making a name for himself here in this division. So Volkov by probably TKO KO in the second round.
All right. Andy, who you picking? I know you normally don't go against the Eastern Europeans, so.
No, and I won't on this one either. For all the reasons Jesse's just said, actually. He'll use his range and he'll pick him apart, and he can bang, obviously. So, yeah, I think there's going to be another punch bagging. That's the second one in a row that we're going to have. It's human punch bags. So, TKO second round probably.
Dave.
Yeah, Jesse's right. It's a real slim pickings at heavyweight. So Volkov coming in, previous champion. He's looking to make his mark. This is as high up on the card as he's going to get in a debut. Timothy Johnson coming off the win of Marcin Tybura and went to a decision, which he kind of had to avoid a lot of the takedowns and just hang in there tough. But the guy's a 10-2 fighter. The numbers where they play in here, Tim Johnson's ranked number 34 in the world. Alexander Drago is number 28. So it's very good matchmaking here. And it's a tough fight for Johnson. It's kind of hard to pick against Johnson here, but you guys make some good points. He's a bigger guy. I think Timothy Johnson will probably outweigh him, or I think will probably outweigh him by at least 20, 25 pounds, even though Alexander Volkov's a taller guy. But it's going to be a tough styles matchup for Johnson to deal with. Either way, win or lose on either side, they sort of just swap spots ranking wise. But Volkov's got to show up if he's wanted to, make his mark in the UFC. Recent addition here, and kind of just move his way up the heavyweight rankings, in which he's still, a ways out. So both these guys need a couple wins under their belt to even be in somewhat of a relative conversation of some high-profile fights. So, but I'll take. I got Volkov, and I think it probably goes the distance, and then pretty. Somewhat of a banger, back and forth, kind of boring ass fight, but I think it'll be a close decision, which Volkov edges him out.
All right, well, first round knockout, Volkov. I think Tim Johnson's gonna be like, "What the fuck is going on?" And rain from above, boom, done. And shout out to Frederick on the YouTube. What the fuck is up, man? That's actually what he just said. He said, "What the fuck is up?" in capital letters. But yeah, everyone's excited. All right, moving on. What's up?
I was gonna say the numbers on that one. Timothy Johnson's the favorite, minus 145.
Oh, barely.
Volkov plus 125, slight underdog. So 28 years old, Volkov. So he's still relatively young, and yeah, this is his time to shine against Timothy Johnson here.
I think those numbers reflect the fact that we were all wondering if he was a Bellator champion or what he did before. I think it's his relative, being an unknown guy, and I think for the hardcore people here, I think we know what he's capable of, and I think a lot of those betting odds are either going to change or they're going to get eaten up in that underdog pick. So if you're out there betting, I mean that's a good underdog pick right there.
That's a really good underdog pick because I don't see Tim Johnson being able to beat this guy. Just you know what I mean. But all right, the whole betting thing I'm not good at, so that's why I don't bet very much. Anyway. Moving on, next fight, we got Ross Pearson taking on Stevie Ray. Now, Ross Pearson is trying to avoid a 3-fight losing streak. This is what you don't want to do. Now, again, Pearson has been screwed 2-3 times now in his career. Like once in Houston, and then another time. He's fucking he's awful in decisions. He cannot go to
here in Albuquerque.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where it all happens here.
Yeah, and then Diego got him right, or he lost to Diego, and clearly, in my opinion, Diego lost that fight. But regardless, taking on Stevie Ray, who's actually more exciting than I thought he would be, really. So we got two UK guys. Who are you picking, Andy?
Well, this is a first of all, Stevie Ray calling himself Braveheart is ridiculous. All it does is bring back memories of a very, very slightly anti-Semitic Mel Gibson. But this is a battle. This is England against Scotland, and Scotland get battered every time. I mean, we're going to have arguments because my son wants Stevie Ray to win. And if it goes to the ground, it probably will, because I think his ground game's a lot better than Ross Pearson's. But if it goes to the ground, I've got to go for Ross Pearson because he's English, and the English have to batter the Scots, whether it's rugby, whether it's football, doesn't matter. It's pride at stake, and they'll both be fighting like that as well. Don't make any mistake about it. Especially Stevie Ray, because Northern Ireland and Scotland are very closely related. It's a very Celtic thing, so there's that. But yeah, it's a Scotland England showdown, and England are going to win, obviously.
All right, real quick, Invicta FC's on right now, and they're doing this new thing where they put when the ref is checking for whatever Vaseline and shit on each fighter before they go in, and they make sure they got their mouthpiece and shit. They put these get to know the fighter name, right? And under the get to facts, and this chick is Pam Sorensen, I think her name is. She put up she likes to dress up her dogs, and she ran her dog for president this year. Like if that's the kind of shit Invicta's gonna put up for get to know your fighters, like everyone's gonna have.
The thing is, if everybody had known that, they probably would have voted for the fucking dog.
Right, Harambe got fucking 16,000 votes. All right, I'm just saying a dead gorilla got 16 or 15,000 votes, some shit like that.
Yeah, and a living gorilla got in.
Yeah, exactly, fucking exactly. All right, this planet's funny. It's weird. Everyone's on mushrooms. Or should be. Anyway, all right, Dave, who are you picking this one?
Man, it's Ross Pearson, man. I mean, every time you turn around lately, Ross Pearson's back in there, kind of like Sam Alvey. But this time around here, I mean, this is pretty much like Ross Pearson. This is do or die for him. I mean, if he goes out in a bad way here, I think that you could say that's the last we've seen of Ross in the UFC. He's been around for a while, man. He's fought a lot of tough bastards. fought the Trinaldos, the Felders, Will Brooks, and Jorge Masvidal are his recent fights. So the Masvidal fight was on short notice. So Pearson's a competitor, man. He's always up and ready to go. He's a KTB, what we refer to a lot of time on the show, a known tough bastard. Stevie Ray, younger guy. Like Andy said, he's got a little bit better edge on the ground if it does go there. But I see this fight just being just mostly competitive on the feet, in which, it's just probably going to be one of those, it's a Ross Pearson type fight, 29-28, some sort of, he's always going to be in there and be winning rounds. Be looking to, to out grapple, his grappling edge probably will help him in this fight here. I think Stevie Ray, though, has got, he's got a lot of confidence going into this fight. I heard a lot of his interviews leading into this one for him. And, a win over Ross will get him right where he needs to be. But, yeah, Ross has got a lot of stuff going against him here. He's got some tough beatings that he's taken in the UFC recently. And, it's not really, ideally, Ross Pearson going into a fight on a full camp. I like to pick him, but I think Stevie Ray here just has got a little bit more. He's going to showcase a real great performance against Ross, and his style will bring that out. And I'll pick Stevie Ray in this fight for sure.
Yeah.
Fuck off, Dave.
Mark Jar says
anybody that picks a Scott can fuck off.
It's near even odds too on both sides. So if you guys are wondering about the numbers, it's near even -110 both sides. So it's
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at those odds. Mike Jarob's asking, nobody watching Invicta? I'm watching it. Actually, as we're going, it's on my TV. But as soon as we're done, I'll watch fight. I don't know if we're even in into the last 4 or 5 fights yet. But I always watch my replay because I miss them usually. And then Frederick says, I think the stand-up goes to Ray as well. And then he's asking if we think there's a chance Ross Pearson announces his retirement. I don't think so. But Andy, you think he retires if he win it or loses? I guess.
To be honest, I think he probably should, but whether he will or not, I mean, it'd be nice if he wins. Either way, if he wins, it's as close as he's going to get to home for a while. I think. So I don't think there's another UK card for quite a while. So it would be, fitting. Unless he's waiting for another UK fight before he does it.
Well, shit, he's going to need a lot. I mean, look, he needs his one anyway, so. And then Frederick says Evans.
The old UFC used to love him, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. They did. But I mean, they kept him around. He was like the new one doesn't give a fuck about anybody, clearly. Like, they're like, who's this guy? I don't know who Jorge Masvidal is, even though they should fucking know who he is. Anyway, all right, Jesse, who are you picking?
Man, it's tough for me because I think Ross Pearson has enough skills to beat Stevie Ray. I think his kickboxing, his Thai boxing, just his striking in general, and his ring awareness of being able to just stay away from people, especially people that like to take him down and stuff. He's shown in past fights how he's really good at gauging that distance and keeping them at bay. The only thing that scares me is if Stevie Ray is able to take him down. That ground game is kind of iffy for me. I mean, Ross Pearson has shown that he can get up and he's really, really tough to submit, but we've seen his ground defenses not being up to par at some times. So I think that's the only upside that Stevie Ray has. But I'm going with Ross Pearson. I think he's that type of fighter that has so much experience that it's going to be able to take him over. He has all the skills to be able to beat an opponent like Ray, and I think the numbers speak for themselves. They can't really pick a winner, and I think they're just kind of guessing at this point. I mean, these cards is where I would say more people would be able to make their money if the fighters well enough, because Vegas odds and stuff, they really don't know these guys very well, so the odds are kind of mismatched. So if you're looking for some picks, look at some of these guys here, like we were saying, like Volkov, Pearson, and a couple of the other ones, even on the other event that we're going to talk about later. You're going to see that a lot of those are not picked very well, and this is where you could probably cash in. Last week's event was just an event everybody should have stayed away from betting because that was just all over the place. But again, Ross Pearson, I think, is the guy that's going to take this. And I think you guys are a bit wrong in saying that he's kind of towards the end of his career and all that, and the UFC doesn't care about these guys, because in my opinion, if you're going to keep a guy like the Irish Dragon, what's his name?
Paul Felder.
Paul Felder. and give him a 6-fight contract, there's no
Yeah, he
way.
just re-signed. Yeah.
There's no way you get rid of a guy like Ross Pearson. I think,
Right.
Felder, he's a guy that has a lot of potential, but hasn't shown any of it in his last few fights. And Ross Pearson is just getting basically screwed over in a lot of his fights, and I think that's a guy you keep around way more before you keep around Paul Felder. So I really don't think that's
And Pearson beat Felder too, so
yeah. See, and again, and it was a competitive fight and everything, and I think there's more upside to Pearson still being a tough alumni. So I think he's going to have a great performance, and I'm going with Pearson though.
Pearson, I'm going with Pearson as well because he's due, man. He's just due. I've never seen a fighter get screwed more times than Ross Pearson. I mean, if there is one, I can't think of his name right now, but he's gotten screwed so many times. Okay, well, not literally.
In ring. Oh,
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah, it'd be very tough, and it would be super strange to see Ross fighting anywhere outside of the UFC. Let's put it at that.
Yeah. And so I'm picking Pearson just honestly because he's due. He really is. And he's got the experience. He's at home, he's fighting in Europe, and it's just fucking time, dude. Frederick says Ray he's taking Stevie Ray by knockout first round. He says, I say it now and I'm never wrong. And then he says Felder is more exciting though, but I don't think Pearson gets cut. I think he ends it on his own terms.
Tell Frederick me and him are going to have words.
Well, there you go.
Hey, Eddie, before we move on to this main event here, I guess we can mention a couple of these prelim fights, or one each. Okay. We all think that would be interesting, or I guess we could pick a fight of the night, what we think would be. And I think the fight to look out for here too. There is a couple on this card, but there's one in particular that's very interesting to me, and it'd be the Kevin Lee versus the Magomed Mustafaev fight. And that's a great fight at 155. So I think, like you were mentioning, Eddie, before we went live, Kevin Lee's got to show up, man. And he was talking shit about Eddie Alvarez embarrassing the 55 division. Well, he's up against a killer, the No Country for Old Men guy here. You know what I mean?
He's
so
creepy.
13-1. The odds on that fight are near even as well too. So I don't know if you guys want to do a pick on that, but honestly, that's my pick for fight of the night. Just low key, going under the radar. It's an interesting styles matchup.
I think I'll pick that fight. Mustafa's gonna fuck him up badly. First round knockout. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Can't really talk too much shit. First of all, okay, you don't talk shit when you're about to face a Russian, any European. I don't even know if he's Russian, but any Eastern European. You don't talk shit before you fight one because you don't know jack shit about that guy. We don't know jack shit about that guy. You know what I mean? All I know is those fuckers like to wrestle bears. That's all I know. Okay.
and he looks like Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men.
He creeps me the fuck out. He creeps me the fuck out. And Jesse, what were you saying?
No, I'll pick that fight. I think Kevin Lee, with his wrestling and his improved striking, I think he'll take that fight. It's not going to be an easy fight, though. I agree with you guys. That's a tough fight. I think Kevin Lee, in hearing a lot of his interviews and stuff, he's the guy that wants to be known. He wants to be a known commodity. He's just got to perform, man. He's just got to get in there and perform. And this is his opportunity. It sucks that he's on the Fight Pass prelims to the Fight Pass main event. So, so it goes to show you how much his talking has gotten him. It's gotten him nowhere. I think his performances are what's going to get him there. And he's got a great personality. He's got a great amount of knowledge in the sport. He's just got to put it in that cage. And he's got to perform. So I'm picking him to win. But it's not going to be an easy fight. Mustafaev, he's one of those tough wrestler. I think he's a Sambo practitioner, correct? If I'm not mistaken. So he's got that Sambo background that, really tough striking, wrestling, grappling type style. So it should be an interesting fight. But like I said, I think Kevin Lee takes that one.
Yeah, look, Mustafa's going to fuck him up. I know you guys are, faith in Kevin Lee. Mustafa's going to fuck his world up. That dude's not going to talk for a long time. And do you have any prelims you want to talk about?
The one I'm looking forward to is a Hiroguchi.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. It's the one time where I'm actually going to bet against the Russian. Because Hiroguchi's got it.
Yeah, that's good. I hardly pick against Ali Bagatinov, but I think I got to go with Horiguchi, likely by a decision. It'll probably be back and forth and just a high-paced fight until I see it playing out.
That'd be a good scrap, that will.
I'll confidently pick against Bagatina for the fact that he fought fucking Mighty Mouse on a bunch of shit, to be able to have cardio, and he gassed out and lost. All right,
and he was getting his fucking head crammed with elbows too the entire third and fourth round. So.
You tried to cheat, and the one thing you cheated for, which was your cardio, you still failed at having. All right.
Was he on EPO?
Yeah, he was on EPO. And fucked it up badly. He still gassed out. Remember at the end of the round, Mighty Mouse is still like bouncing up and down, and this motherfucker's like just tired, gassed out, and everything. I'm like, well, what happened to the EPO? You got some bad shit, dude. You got some Mexican supplements. Should have gone somewhere better. All right. Hey, what? You and I both know some bullshit down there. All right.
I know. I'm just saying. Don't gotta mention it all the time.
Yeah, right. And Mike Jarf says Kevin Lee is a jackass. Frederick agrees. And then Frederick says off topic, but if anyone is watching Invicta right now, purple O's, yeah, yeah. And he's talking about like one of them not so much, but the other one, there's one chick. I think Jessica Clark looks pretty good in her outfit there. So anyway, and normally we don't talk like that.
I apologize for any women watching.
Trump, we're in Trump's America. We can say whatever we want now, dude. For as long as I'm still here. Apparently I can say whatever the fuck I want. All right, and no one can get mad at me.
Eddie,
how many is he going to get rid of in the first day? 2 million, 3 million?
3 million, something like that. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I think he starts in California, and in California there's like 10 million, so I don't even fucking know.
Damn
but,
it.
Whatever.
He's starting from the bottom up.
There you go.
It.
But
guess I'm moving to NorCal.
There you go. All that's San Fran, dude. Hey, go to San Francisco and then just have this is gonna be fucked up. We're in Trump's America. Keep that in mind. Go to San Francisco. Just have a gay accent. He will never even come near you. He'll be like, "Oh, he's fine."
You get shot.
You might get shot.
I thought I might fit in better with Oakland people. The Mexicans up there, so they'll keep me safe, right? As long as I don't get stabbed or shot.
While you're there, while you're waiting for Trump to just go by you. Yeah. Anyway,
Eddie, what's your fight pick besides the Bogotinov Horiguchi fight?
That's the only one I had.
You didn't pick one. I'll pick a different one.
You want to pick a different one? Oh, yeah. Anna Elmos and Amanda Cooper. Elmos is actually a pretty solid striker who has been trying to develop a ground game, and she tries to do it in her fights and stuff, but not so great. She actually came in against Randame. What was the rest of her name? It's like longest fucking name ever. Durandame. Yeah. So she came in against her in her UFC debut, short notice at 135. Way overmatched. She's gonna come in at 115 against Amanda Bobby Cooper, who's down for a scrap. So I think that's gonna be a low key. If we're lucky, it'll be a really good fight. But Amanda Cooper will try to take it to the ground, do some ground and pound. But Elmos has shown that she's actually trying to get a ground game going. So if we're lucky, it'll stay on the feet and they'll throw down. But other than that, we'll see what happens with those prelims. All right, main event time. In a rematch of course, a late notice fight for Uriah Hall. Gegard Mousasi against Uriah Hall, part 2. Hall actually knocked him out last time by how do you finish him? Was it a knee? Am I right on that?
Knee and then follow-up punches.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. So and Mousasi was, he said it afterwards, like just weeks after, he was like, "This is a fluke, whatever." So now we get to find out if it was a fluke or not. Hall has like a 2-fight losing streak right now. Gegard just dismantled the motherfucker in UFC 200. Thiago Santos, right? He messed him up real bad.
It was Vitor Belfort, wasn't it?
Oh, right. Before that, did Santos, and he did Vitor. Right. Vitor Belfort in 204. You're right. So it's actually, now that I think about it, it's a pretty quick turnaround. That's 2 in a row. That are pretty quick turnarounds, right? But he didn't take much damage against Vitor.
Yeah, for both of them, it's a quick turnaround. But the difference is Uriah's coming off getting blasted by Derek Brunson. So
badly. That was the first time I've seen him get knocked out like that, though. I don't think he's been knocked out before. Not in the UFC.
And then I think the way Uriah finished him last time, wasn't it a vicious spinning back kick, right? It wasn't quite a knee.
Well, it was two, wasn't it? He ducked into the spinning back kick because he was going for the takedown, and then he went for another takedown and got kneed in the head.
And before that, he was beating the shit out of him before that even happened. Yeah, I think it happened right off the second round. As the second round starts,
he was throwing him around all over the place in the first, wasn't he?
That's right.
Yeah. But anyway, so this is a crazy fight. I think Mousasi has a lot of momentum in this one, especially coming off 2 really good wins. So I'll go first. I'm picking Mousasi by like complete domination. I mean, finally finishing fights after people were booing him for being boring or saying he was boring or whatever. I think Mousasi's gonna just take him out. And unfortunately, Hall. I don't think Hall's gonna live up to his potential ever. Everyone was calling him the next Anderson Silva, or that he fought like Anderson Silva, and they had a point until he fucking got traumatized when he fucking put that Adam dude in the hospital. Remember that dude? Like he jacked him up real bad, and then he was on the ground like freaking out, and then Hall's like killer instinct just flew away in that moment. So sorry here with Jesse, man. Who are you picking in this one?
I agree with you, but I think your assessment of Uriah Hall is semi incorrect. I don't think he's ever had a killer instinct. I just think he's a nice guy. I just really, nice guy. Unfortunately, I think he's just a nice guy. He's not the type of guy, like, to me, he seems like the type of guy that's in the back, probably reading comic books and watching, Saturday morning cartoons instead of like actually warming up and getting ready. I think, he just doesn't have that killer instinct. And I think, fortunately, for Gegard, I think that spinning back heel kick or whatever he hit him with initially to back him up and then finish him off with the knee and punches, I think that finally woke up Mousasi to the fact that he might end his career without getting a title shot in the UFC. And I think he realized that, and now we've seen what Mousasi's doing. Mousasi is now talking. Now he's finishing fights. Now he's being more aggressive. Now he's throwing his skills out there and actually attempting to win these fights instead of just being so Gegard Mousasi falling asleep in the cage. Now we're seeing his full potential, what we always had kind of seen glimpses of before. So I hope Mousasi wins and then goes over to Uriah Hall and thanks him for waking him up and making him realize that his opportunity to win a championship is fading away very quickly. I think right now is possibly the best time for him to win a championship, with the state of how that whole title picture looks in that division. So I think watch out for Mousasi to kind of get it back in a very impressive fashion and then get on that mic and, call for a title shot. I mean, who knows, yeah, he definitely should. I think he definitely deserves an opportunity to fight for that title, but I think he can make a case as well. So Gegard Mousasi probably first round finish. I don't think he's going to make the same mistake as last time. I think he's going to try to go for the kill in that first round and finish it off very quickly.
Yeah, and look, with the way the title picture is right now, people are getting hurt, people are popping for shit. He could sneak in there and bypass everybody and get a title shot sometime soon. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for him anyway. All right, Andy, who are you picking in this one?
Well, going by my country likeness and how I tend to dictate my picks on that. One, Gegard lives in Holland, and that's one of my favourite countries in the world. And two, Uriah Hall comes from the Caribbean, and that's another part of my favourite part of the world. So, having said that, I agree with everything Jesse's just said. Gegard's going to finish him in the first round. It was, that was his wake-up call, exactly as Jesse said. When Uriah Hall got, because he was getting handled in that first round, absolutely handled. And, there was no doubt that could have been even a 10-8 that first round. So, it was just a pure fluke that he happened to catch him with, those two, the kick and the knee. But yeah, it woke him up. It made him realise that he really needs to get his shit together. He's probably was smoking too much out in Amsterdam. But, because the memes say it all. Gegard smiling, Gegard angry. They're all exactly the same bloody face. Nothing phases him. He was the same at the weigh-ins today. It's just, sometimes he can be too laid back for his own good. And I think that last fight with Uriah Hall he was. And he's not going to make that mistake again. No,
exactly. And he knows better now, right? And then Mike Drive saying he needs to cut a killer promo. And look, what he's been doing has actually worked pretty well. He flipped off the media at the UFC 200 weigh-ins, if I remember correctly, or the 204 weigh-ins. He went up there, just flipped all the media off. He was all telling the crowd, "Yeah, boo me," and I think he told the crowd to fuck off or something like that once. So look, keep doing that shit because good guy, loved or hated, if people are watching you, you're gonna get put on TV. That's just what it, or on a big fight, because that's just kind of how it is. Unfortunately, it's starting to be sounding like freaking pro wrestling. But yeah, Dave, what you got?
Yeah, you guys make some great points there, Jesse, about Hall and, previous performances and comparisons to Anderson and stuff like that. Dana White, calling Uriah's killer instinct, quote unquote, into question a while back. And yeah, that's a great point also, Jesse, you made that that sort of woke up Gegard, in which Gegard is a very, very top-notch guy. I've been very high on him for years. That setback really just, put him in the right place. He's smoking people. He smoked Vitor Belfort. He smoked Thiago Santos, who was previously a guy who was on a tear. I think Dallas latest was his last decision. I mean, he's finished 2 straight guys. Gegard's in the right place right now where he needs to be. And had he played his cards a little bit differently, I mean, with Luke Rockhold dropping out against Jacare, that fight easily could have happened as well. But Gegard was just looking to get back in there as soon as possible. So he wants to get this one back. I do see him getting it back real easily. The guy's 40-6. The guy's got nearly 50 fights under his belt. He's 31 years old, tons of experience. I think he just wants to get this one back, come out of there undamaged, and which he puts himself as a wild card, as he should be in the middleweight division picture, because he only loses to top-notch guys, and the next fight for him will be either to get him into a title fight or a title fight itself. So, and especially if he finishes Hall in impressive fashion, which I think he does, in probably under 2 rounds, and definitely got to go with Gegard here. But if you're a betting person and you like, numbers and all that, the numbers in this one don't really lie, or maybe they are lying. You got a heavy underdog in Uriah plus 450. Gegard is a heavy favorite minus 525. So we all know Uriah Hall's known for the fighter house spinning back kick. He's known for stunning Gegard before, so I guess there is that factor where he could just, lightning in a bottle type shit, striking twice. But I do not see that happening. I see Gegard sort of a repeat of their first fight, in which he just doesn't hesitate to put him away when given an opportunity, if it's early in the fight. And Gegard Mousasi all the way, 90-10, I guess you could say, in my opinion.
By the way, am I correct in thinking that wasn't Mousasi trying to get into a fight earlier a couple months ago or something recently? Some fight fell out and he was trying to get in there, and I think it was out of his weight class, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
Oh, he was trying to get DC. He was trying to get DC. At UFC 200.
Right.
At UFC 200. Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what it was. Okay. Yeah, I mean, think about it, man. I mean, he's just trying to put up his star and get those fights. I mean, crazy bastard's now waking up finally. What, 40 fights in, right?
Yeah, he's the younger guy than Uriah. A lot of people wouldn't think that, but Uriah Hall, 32 years old,
started late.
31. So it's Gegard's here to stay, and I think he just gets himself into a shot to compete for the title, or just a title implication fight, because he's the man. I mean, Gegard never gonna put that guy away easily. Hall sort of got lucky, I guess you could say, but Gegard can definitely put the stamp on that by just laying waste to Uriah. So looking forward to this one. And with this being the main event, guys, you guys want to go ahead and say, I mean, beside the main event, if it's Gegard, starching him, is that a performance of the night, or what do you guys see as a performance of the night, fight of the night bout in this card to put a bow on this one?
Artem Lobov against Ishihara.
Oh, this motherfucker! You're a liar. You're a liar, sir.
What, you don't think that's gonna be a banger of a fight? 2 guys that basically like to just throw hammers at each other. I think that's gonna produce a definite knockout of the night, fight of the night.
I don't want to say fight of the night. I mean, maybe a knockout, performance of the night, or whatever. But
come on, Artem's got a big enough head, and he's dumb enough. He's not gonna get knocked out. He's gonna get a few shots.
Look,
he's gonna wobble around.
Only thing I'm looking forward to in that fight, well, actually 2 things I'm looking forward to: Ishihara ignoring the UFC and saying something about his bitches again, and 2, Conor McGregor losing his fucking mind in Lobov's corner. Can you imagine when Lobov's getting his ass whooped and Conor McGregor screaming his head off at him? I mean, I don't know if you guys watched any of the tough series or whatever show that McGregor was on. But when his fighters are losing, he loses his shit. So I can't wait to see that. That's about it. So as far as that fight goes, but my pick for Friday night is going to be the girls, man.
Okay, sticking with that one.
I'm sticking with that one. Who are you taking, Andy?
Because I remember, Andy, what do you think?
I don't know, to be honest. I think performance of the night, it's going to be Gegard. I think he's going to get that. Fight of the night, not sure. The Ross Pearson might pull one if they stay and just bang with each other for 3 rounds. Other than that, probably the girls.
Yo, they're showing Chris Cyborg highlights right now on the Invicta in between fights, and at the risk of sounding like Fred Kirby, that looks like domestic violence going down right there in a cage. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. All right, sorry. Dave, what about you, man?
No, I mean, I know last week, or I remember we were joking about it, Jesse, how I called the Tim Boach knockout out of nowhere, in which it did happen, but it didn't earn performance of the night. I think one of those weird knockouts, or possibly a performance of the night, could come to Justin Ledet and the Mark Godbeer fight. I think Godbeer is making his debut, but I think that could be a banger of a fight, in which, like I said, Justin Ledet probably could get a performance of the night there. Fight of the night, I'll probably have to stick with Magomed Mustavov and Kevin Lee. I think that's just all the makings of just a slick, dope fight, just stylistically. So I'm gonna stick with that one.
By the way, none of us mentioned, and I don't know if you guys are as high on Marion Renault as I am, but her fight against Miliana Dudieva or whatever, that should be a pretty good scrap, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah,
there's quite a few. That's why I definitely wanted to mention a couple of them. And I think there's low key some fight performance of the nights that could very well happen on the prelims and not necessarily on the main card.
Yeah, look, with the fight nights and stuff, it could go in, either way. Like you can get some crazy fights in the prelims. That's why they're free. So all right, moving on to the Brazil card, the Sao Paulo card, UFC Sao Paulo. It's another fight night. By the way, the first one I think is just on Fight Pass. The Belfast card is only Fight Pass. The Sao Paulo card starts off on UFC Fight Pass. The early prelims are at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time. FS1 prelims, obviously TV, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time. And staying on FS1 for the main card, 9 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. The main card starts off with a couple, at least, I don't know. It's not, I'm not going to say they're like weird fights, but it's just like, I mean, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, I'll watch that, sure. So we got Moraes against Otto. I like Moraes in this one. I mean, like Moraes is more of a script. To me, he's just a better fighter. I don't know a lot about Otto, to be honest with you, though. So let's start out here with Jesse. Who you got?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think a lot of these fighters are going to be shocked by how well Brazil encourages their fighters and how much that changes the tune of a lot of fighters. How much it wills them to win. Zach Otto, like you said, I mean, he's not a overly impressive guy. He's still, in my opinion, he feels like a guy that's still should have taken a little bit more of a slow start, basically before getting into the UFC. I don't think he's at that tier yet of being a UFC fighter. I think he's just like a step below. Like he could be probably the top like 30. 40, the top 40 people. But past that, I think his skills are just not up to snuff. I think he's got a lot of holes in his game. And I think Moraes is going to be able to just pretty much, keep him at distance, take him down at will and beat him up and probably submit him.
All right, Dave.
Yeah, it's a weird fight. I mean, I think it's a very good fight, though, matchmaking wise. I mean, you mentioned the rankings, Jesse. I mean, they pretty much stand out when Zach Otto is ranked number 160. And you got Moraes at 36. So, but then again, Zach Otto did show up in, I believe, short notice his last fight too as well, and came through with a big win as an underdog in his debut in the UFC. So Moraes, I think, is coming off or this fight was supposed to be Michael Graves, I believe, and Sergio Moraes. So Zach Otto is coming in on short notice again. So this fight, I mean, yeah, I want to pick Zach Otto based on his previous performance, but Moraes is just. He's better all around. When it goes to the ground, though, Zach Otto can hold his own. He's got plenty of submissions on his resume. The guy's 29 years old. I think in a recent interview, he did say that he doesn't mind being thrown into the deep end of his division because he definitely wants to make that climb and rise up. And I think it starts with Sergio Moraes, and this is a definite measuring stick for where he's going to be going forward, and which he's taking the fight on short notice. So these short notice fights there's something tricky always happening. And I just think that Zach Otto will be super tough in there. I think Sergio Moraes, I kind of hold a lot of stock, and I believe he KO'd Omari Nadoff, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, he has that. That's a pretty good win right there, man. But I think he had a Luan Chagas went to like a split draw or something in his last fight. So weird performance there. But I think he'll perform a lot better here, in which Zach Otto will be officially added to the KTB list at the end of the night. Yeah, it'll be a scrapper of a fight, and I like this fight actually to open up the main card, and I got to go with Sergio Moraes.
All right, Andy, who you picking?
Well, to be honest, this main card starts at 4 a.m. in the UK.
Oh, shit.
And I'm pretty sure around about that time the Ward fight's on. So.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be watching that.
Right.
I will be more interested in the Ward fight than I am in the main card of this.
Okay, hey, well, while we're on that, then who are you picking in that fight? Because I got Andre all day.
Yeah, Ward. Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
it's going to be a good fight, but I can't see Andre Ward losing it. So yeah, we've got that. So my eye is going to be predominantly on that. So there's only really, if I'm honest, 2 fights on this main card that I'm really interested in. So
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
I'm just going to pick by, I don't know, randomness at the end of the day. I don't know. Yeah, I think this fight's going to be a good one. The first one, I think it is going to be a bit of scrapper. But I don't care who wins. To be honest, they're both nowhere near good enough.
And you're probably right. Like, to get to the top 10 of that division is going to be rough for either guy. All right.
I think it might be a bad night for Brazilians all night. To be honest.
Right, at home and everything. It's just crazy. All right. Moving on, next fight up, we got this is the welterweight division. Warlley Alves against Kamaru Usman. I'll make this easy for all of you. Usman's gonna bore the shit out of us and just wrestle him down and hold him on the ground. Because that's the thing about Usman, I like guys that take the fight to the ground and try to do something. Advanced position, go for some kind of submission, something, right? Usman doesn't do any of that shit. He's happy just sitting on top of you and pretending to elbow you, maybe throw a couple little rabbit bullshit punches. That's about all he wants to do. So I'm going to take Usman by boring ass decision because he's just that fucking good at boring the fuck out of me. He really is. I like Arlev. Look, if Warlley, the way I see Warlley win this fight, knocking him out in the first 15 seconds. Okay? Because Usman will feint, throw a 1-2 and shoot immediately. And Alves has to be ready with that knee or else. All right? And I want Alves to win badly. I'm sick of Usman, but I think he's gonna, wrestle fuck him the rest of the whole night, and it's gonna be boring as dog shit. I'll say that shit on I don't give a fuck. Dave, who you got?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think Usman, that is his game plan, man. I mean, what did he call out recently? He said that he called out Damian Maia. Or he said that he wants to be, the top grappler, in this. So he's really like trying to, pick his shots.
Delusional is what he is if he wants to take on Damian Maia.
So if he's going to go down into Brazil and take on Warlley Alves, I mean, Brian Barberena went down into Brazil and handled business against Warlley Alves, took him into the later rounds. I think Usman can easily do that, like you're talking about, Eddie, which that's just his style. I see him doing that here. But, yeah, you have a great point when you said Alves got to be ready with knees and early in the fight. And often that's going to be his time to make the fight his. He's only got one loss. It is to Brian Barberena. Yep. He's ranked number 26 in the world. Usman is number 35. So these guys are looking to just, climb the ladder just a bit. Usman's got to he's got to have a good performance in there though, man. He's got to get a finish and then people start talking about him. But this division is it's loaded. And where these guys are at, they're 3, 4, 5 fights away from, being in the conversation. But 29 years old, Usman and Warlley Alves 25, they got plenty of years to shine. So I think the favorite in this fight is Usman. I believe it's a -195. Underdog is Warlley at home in Brazil. But I got to go with Kamaru Usman just based on his style and what Brian Barberena was able to do to Alves. So, yeah, if he does actually win the fight, Alves, it'll be early. It'll be under 2 rounds. But I see Usman just winning a boring fucking wrestle fuck fest for 3 rounds. So, yeah, I agree with you, Ed.
Yeah, he's the welterweights Phil Davis. Yeah. So, real quick, Dave, is Amber Brown Jackson's girl?
Yeah, or she's Fit NHB. She's not Jackson.
Oh, she's about to throw down right now. So, yeah. Okay. Taking on a pretty good looking girl, to be honest with you. I don't know if she actually Yoder or something like that. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, she's trained with Tim Means, and if you guys all haven't heard, Ray Borg no longer a part of Fit NHB. He's actually Jackson Link now. So
I knew that was gonna happen. Sorry.
So that's why I had a little conversation with somebody about that last night to confirm that. Yeah, Brandon Gibson had been working with Ray Borg, and I thought it was just for striking reasons, but he officially is no longer coached by Tom Bond. So that's a bit of a shock. He's been long term with Ray. So they're gonna
start some Black Zillions ATT type of bullshit down in New Mexico. It's gonna be weird. Except I don't know if you guys know much about ABQ, and Dave will tell you they get gangster down there. Okay, they get fucking crazy. So anyway,
and it's. A lot of people don't know that Tom Vaughn, I'm talking about the coach, Ray Borg's old coach,
right.
Carlos Condit came up through Tom Vaughn, and which Carlos made the switch to Jackson Link. So it's some interesting stuff when it becomes just, New Mexico bred, New Mexico fighter. So there's some good history behind it. But yeah, Ray Borg officially Jackson Link guy, and we'll see what he looks like in his next bout.
Yeah, and so Amber Brown says she's starting her own gym in New Mexico. So that's weird. Anyway, another gym there. All right, Jesse, who are you picking?
I think you guys are overstating Usman's MMA wrestling. I agree with you guys. That's his style of, like, trying to feint, go in. But I mean, if you look at the way Barberena attacks his takedowns and everything, he's got a completely different style, and he attacks from different angles. He's a really more of a chain wrestler. If you looked at it, Barberena, he really goes in, attempts single, goes to double, doesn't get that, goes high, ties you up, trips you. I mean, he has so many different ways to take you down that's what was so difficult for Alves to fight off. If you remember that fight, I mean, he was fighting off one, and then he was hit with another one. He'd fight that one off, and another one, and another one.
It was
until
relentless.
It's just like, yeah, it was just so bad that eventually he just kind of gave in, fell down. Yeah, exactly. I don't think Usman has that. From what I've seen, he doesn't have that same exact style. He goes in, goes for a single takedown. If he doesn't get it, he ties you up against the cage, beats you up a little bit, breaks off, attempts another takedown. Like, he's a very, very single-minded track guy. He doesn't overwhelm you with his takedown attacks. And I think that's going to be the difference maker here. I think you're right. I think if he does take him down, that's probably going to be the end of that. I mean, he's not going to let him get back up. But I think we'll see Alves be a little bit more able to defend those takedowns and make it a bit more interesting on the feet. I'm actually picking Alves. I think he learned a lot from that Barberena fight. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think what we'll see is Usman attempting to, do those single takedowns, and he'll probably get blasted. He'll have to move away, and he'll try to reset and, keep doing that over and over again. And I think Alves is going to be keen on that, and he's going to be able to put him away either in the second or third round.
I hope you're right. I really do, because I'm not an Usman fan whatsoever. I mean, come on, man. Fucking don't bore me. Don't bore me. If you want to make a fucking message, do not bore me. It's fucking awful. What were you saying, Dave?
No, it's kind of getting like a sort of a deja vu type thing, because we're talking about Kamaru Usman doing that, and I remember we're saying the same shit kind of about Tim Boetsch just wrestle fucking last week. So I guess the long shot of the night is it Usman by KO.
That would be ridiculous.
So
imagine that.
Preposterous, sir.
Fellas, so I mean, if we're coming off Tim Boetsch coming off with the unlikely finish last week, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Usman by TKO, KO. Then let's do that.
Hey, we've seen Tim Boetsch knock people out. Have we ever seen Usman knock anybody out?
I don't believe so. I think, I don't know. I'm looking at his record now, but yeah, that's the biggest fucking long shot of the night. Absolutely.
Other than
he chokes people out, but
look, other than in the walkout, I don't think I've seen Usman on his feet ever in the octagon. All right, I think that guy just like crawls into the ring and into the cage and just waits like a freaking spider.
And it's weird too, because I'm somewhat familiar with Usman from years ago, because he fought on like a Holly Holm card like 3 years ago or 2 years ago in Legacy. That was the first time I ever heard of him, because he fought on a few cards with Tim Means and Holly Holm. So I'm pretty familiar with the guy. So yeah, he used to finish people. He was a finisher, and now, I mean, like you said, Ed, you haven't seen him on his feet unless he's walking to the fucking cage. So, but I'm gonna go out on a limb. Like I said, Usman gets a finish. Fuck it.
All right. Next fight out, we're in the middleweight division. We got Talis Latis ranked number 11 against number 15, Christoph Jotko. I don't know who you guys are picking, but I'm taking Jotko. All right, just because it's a fun last name, and I think his last fight was actually pretty exciting, pretty nice finish. So that's what I'm gonna take. I'm taking the Polish dude in Brazil to win. Andy, who are you picking?
Another fight I couldn't give a shit about. He's Polish. I think Jotko will get it. But other than that, I don't care. Andre Ward will be doing the business about the third round.
Yeah, he will. Oh, speaking of which, Mike Jarv says the tougher they are, the better Ward gets. Exactly. Ward loves to fight tough fighters. So, and he's part of the Diaz brothers and all these other guys. So he's seen it all at this point. But Jesse, who are you picking?
Again, I think his style, Jocko's style, is going to make this an exciting fight. I'm going with Latis. I think he's due to show us something. Something
really
more
too,
than
right?
What's that?
No, I agree with you. He really is due. At some point, he's going to show us something.
Yeah, I think we've all heard, and a lot of people talk about his skills and his ability, his striking, his power, his jujitsu. We just don't see it. I mean, he seems kind of like a very, very like muted fighter in most of his fights. Like he has some exciting moments, and we kind of get glimpses of like what he could be, but he doesn't show us enough. And I think if any time is the time for him to show up, it's this card because you've got the national hero Nogueira at the top of the bill. And so I think all the Brazilians are gonna have to step up actually just to impress their hero, their iconic hero Nogueira, even though he's probably gonna get snuffed pretty quickly. But I think we're gonna finally see a good performance out of Latest. I think Latest takes this probably a decision.
All right, I mean that's fair. I mean, look, like I said, I agree with you. I think he's due to show us something because he's been just a name for a while, you know. So yeah. Anyway, Dave.
Yeah, you said it, Ed. Dallas Leda has been around for a cool minute here in the UFC. So I don't know what fight he's on. I think he's around like his 12th or 13th fight in the UFC, maybe
Something like that.
Yeah, because Latest has been around. He's fought Anderson Silva years ago. I think he had a little sudden resurgence in his career in which he lost that split decision to Michael Bisping, and then went on to lose to Gegard Mousasi by a unanimous decision. But followed that up by a submission win over Chris Camozzi. I think Camozzi was on a bit of a streak. So, but Dallas Latest still a little bit long in the tooth. Jesse mentioned the Brazilian connection down there. I think I've been picking against these Brazilian guys so far, in which a lot of them, one of them loses, and it's sort of like a trend for the night. So I see that trend continuing here, in which, yeah, I got to go with Jocko, man. I mean, he put the Barn Cat, he's stiffing them up in like 50 seconds, right?
Yeah, and Barn Cat, I mean, he's like impossible to knock out, but his latest fights have been pretty good. So.
Exactly, and then he wasn't really like a guy to be finished, like you said, and Jocko made it look very easy, and then the Barn Cat's out of the fucking UFC right now as we speak.
He knocked him clear out.
So I think Jocko, yeah, he's got some upside, man. I think, what is his age right now? I think he's like 27, 28 years old.
He's not old at all. He's young.
Only got the one loss. I mean, he is the underdog in the fight, believe it or not. He's like a plus 145 underdog here. So I got to go with Jocko, man. I think he's got that. He's that it. You know, he's a Polish guy. There's a sudden little Polish power that's inside the UFC right now. And I think in his position in the division, he's ranked number 21. Dallas Latest is a top 10 guy. He's ranked number 10 in the world at middleweight. So Jocko, this is a test for him to see where he's going, and in which he'll probably find himself in some big time fights. Say he does put away Dallas Latest, but I have it picked for a decision, Jocko. Possibly a submission though, late third round. So. But I'd say it's a guaranteed decision is likely to go. But Dallas Latest is a KTB, though. We know that. So that's Jocko. Yeah, if he's going to finish Dallas Latest, he's on his way to doing big things in the middleweight division for sure.
I think Jocko's going to stiffen that dude up, to be honest with you. But I don't know. I think he's going to be like some kind of walking zombie knockout type of finish. Anyway, all right. And real quick, Dave, your ABQ girls, she was getting smothered a second ago. Apparently, Ashley Yoder can wrestle her ass off. So.
I think she's moving up a weight class too. That's the thing.
She is moving up. Yeah. So I mean, she's not much smaller than Yoda. I mean, she doesn't look much smaller than Ashley, but Ashley just fucking tripped takedown pretty easily too. Anyway, all right. Moving on to the women's strawweight division in the UFC. Number 1 ranked Claudia Gadelha taking on Courtney Casey. I think this is where I know Dave was saying, if a Brazilian loses early in the card, the trend kind of starts. I think the trend ends here. Claudia Gadelha is a bad motherfucker. They're just tough as nails. I guess everyone beats pretty much almost everybody, other than Joanna, of course, twice. So it's still a tough fight, kind of for her. But I'm not a fan of Casey at all. I don't think Casey has much to offer her. But let's start off with Mr. Jesse Ruvalcaba here. Who you got?
Courtney Casey has sort of an impressive resume. Recently, 2-fight winning streak.
But the transition to the armbar was beautiful. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, that was great.
Go ahead. What happened? Do your best Joe Rogan impression. Go.
Oh, please
don't. Oh, shit. Oh, she taps. It's over. She's the best in the world. We've never seen anyone better. All right, is that good enough?
That's perfect.
Hey, well,
I tried to make it as biased as possible. I tried. It didn't work. But your girl just got armbarred, bro. Sorry. Anyway.
Yeah.
Continue, Jesse.
um, yeah, Courtney Casey has a 2-fight win streak, as I was saying, but I believe if I remember correctly, she lost to what was it, Jojo Calderwood, not too long ago. To me, it just seems like she kind of has that style of just kind of plodding forward, taking damage, taking people down, grinding them up against the cage, kind of just winning these exchanges, basically. Claudia Gadelha is not going to let her do that. I think
Nope.
Gadelha's got a chip on her shoulder from that last fight where she gassed, and she basically had the first, what was it, 2 rounds in her where she kind of hurt the champ a little bit, had her backing up and everything, and then she just gassed. She couldn't keep up that pace, and then she got pieced up. And I think she's just going to come out really, really strong out the gate, finish Casey very, very quickly. Probably in that first round, maybe. Casey might be tough enough to survive to the second round, but I just don't see it going farther than that. Under 2.5 rounds, probably. Utter destruction, TKO, KO, Gadelha.
All right, Dave.
Yeah, man, I think you guys know who I'm picking here. Claudia Gadelha has been down the street over here sharpening up her skills. Jackson Wink Gym. I'm working with Brandon, working with Greg and Wink. So I think she's going to have some you're going to see a different Claudia Gadelha in this fight, in which Courtney Casey did have a little bit of a streak going into here. She's fought tough lately. I think she had like a fucking car accident or something like before she even took this fight. So
Wait, Casey?
Before she signed the bout agreement to fight Claudia, she had a bad accident in which she had some type of injury. I don't know what the injury was, but she went ahead and took the fight, in which it's a very fucking tough fight against the number 2 gal in the world. So it'd be really a big uphill battle for her, or just a tremendous fucking accomplishment if she's able to get through Claudia, being that's the backstory to her taking this fight. But she's a huge underdog, plus 375, as she should be. Claudia, as Jesse mentioned, she had Joanna hurt in the first and second round. She looked, she was still in the fight, late in the fight. She just gassed. And I guarantee that haunts her, and she knows that she was that close to actually becoming a champion. So she wins the fight here. Gadelha moves on and possibly, seeks a rematch, or just, takes on whoever's the next up. And this fight is pretty much tailor-made, not necessarily tailor-made for her to win, but Courtney Casey's the number 16 girl in the division. Claudia Gadelha is number 2. So I got Claudia Gadelha, and I agree with you, Ed. This is where where I pick against the Brazilian trend stops, in which, she definitely handles business down in Brazil. And, Gadelha all the way. Absolutely.
All right, Andy.
Well, this is one of the fights I'm looking forward to because I want to see how much damage is done by Gadelha.
It's true.
Let's be honest. This is ritual lamb to the slaughter in Brazil. This is what this is.
Oh yeah.
It's like Dave said. It's tailor made for her to basically get back on the title track and put a big win for a big Brazilian in Brazil. There's no way Casey's got this. There's no way she's getting out the first round.
All right, that's everyone's got Gadelha. I got Gadelha. Everyone's picked them. So, all right, moving on. The co-main event of the evening is actually probably one of the more one of the fight that I'm looking forward to the most. I mean, the main event, all right, cool, but the co-main should be, to me, is the real main event. We got Thomas Almeida coming off that freaking knockout from Corey Garbrandt. That freaking punch that he basically punched Almeida's soul out of his freaking body, taking on Albert Morales. It's a striker against a grappler. You know what I mean? That classic matchup, I think, with, of course, Almeida being the striker here. So, look, I'll go first. I think Almeida is going to get back on the horse, get a big knockout in this one. I know Morales going to take him to the ground, but Almeida's not a punk on the ground. He can get out of bad spots, maybe even finish the fight by submission. But Morales, his ground game is pretty solid, so I'm not going to take away any credit there. But I think Almeida's he's just too good. And I think we get hopefully we get him back as a contender at 135. We still need more guys in there. But let's start off here with Dave. Who you got?
Yeah, a lot of people are, with Albert Morales. If you watched his last fight, he fought in September 17th. There was the Dustin Poirier, Michael Johnson. He fought Alejandro Perez. It was a majority draw. So if you guys go back and watch that, I mean, it was a very, very interesting fight. I think he's never lost a fight in the professional. As an amateur, I think he has a loss, but he's very capable of he has a great ground attack on the feet. I think that's where he's going to likely want to have this fight compete against Thomas as he's coming fresh off a pretty brutal knockout. And it's hard for me to pick Thomas Almeida in this one. I really don't know It's tailor-made. It's sort of a tailor-made bout here. But at the same time, Albert Morales, from what I've heard him talk, going into this fight, he's in that position where it's like, all the pressure's on Thomas, you know what I mean? Because Morales is coming in here. A lot of people are just counting him out. He's not really a known guy, in which he gets a win over Thomas Almeida. I mean, fuck, man, that puts him in a great position. So, old Tomahawk, slow man, coming off that ruthless fucking KO. It's always hard.
Oh shit! Hey, hold up. Sorry, time out. They're showing Eric. Sorry, I apologize. But Erica Terbucio is about to fight. Okay, and they showed her highlight from when she beat Michelle Waterson for the belt. I'm in the background. I actually covered that shit in Houston. I just saw that shit. Sorry.
Nice.
That was kind of funny. Sorry. Go ahead, dude. That shit was funny.
Yeah, and then also, if you guys watched the weigh-ins earlier, both these guys were nose to nose, ready to go. I think Morales was champion something in Brazil to Thomas Almeida. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting fight. I mean, it's going to be a banger. I believe it's going to be competed mostly on the feet. But yeah, Thomas Almeida's got to win this fight. A lot of pressure on him.
Oh, for sure.
I just think that Morales is going to be very, very competitive unexpectedly, in which he's got nothing to lose. And I think it's going to be possibly a fight of the night on this card. I know we've already done our picks for the last card, but this would probably be my pick for fight of the night. And I think it probably goes, 2+ rounds, but it'll be a banger from start to finish. So absolutely. And I gotta go with the underdog Albert Morales in this one.
Right, and Morales could play spoiler big time on this one because again, we expect Almeida to win this and win it impressively and get back on some kind of a title or a run to the title. And then of course, let's say Garbrandt wins by miracle, in my opinion, by miracle. But let's say he beats Dominic Cruz, right? He's a champion. Almeida is going to be all about, hey, let me get that rematch, So
he will be too. I think, he's the type of guy where, if he does win in impressive fashion, I see him kind of being, probably maybe calling his next shot or so. But it's sort of like it's a 98% 2% type fight. A lot of people the way they see it, but I see Albert Morales just playing spoiler in Brazil and just being a fucking nightmare in there for Thomas Almeida to deal with anywhere the fight goes, whether it's on the feet, on the ground. I think Almeida could possibly get finished by submission as well too.
Yeah, and it's the thing about that the young guys in MMA need to understand is this is the new this is the new UFC, right? Where you have to call your shot, you have to say something. Unfortunately, it's becoming pro wrestling-ish or really into pro wrestling-ish.
Well, there you go. He's always wearing like some. Yeah, he's wearing those big black shades. Throw those big black shades on when he wins, and whatever.
If you win your fight in the UFC, don't be like, oh, fight whoever UFC puts in front of me, because they'll be like, oh, you're boring. You're back in the line. Call your shot, make it interesting.
Yeah, don't pull a Tony Ferguson.
Don't do that stupid shit. I bet, hey, after Khabib won that fight, beat the shit out of Michael Johnson and called his shot, I bet Ferguson was like, God damn it, what the fuck, So anyway. And that's just how the game is played now. I'm not saying this because it's right, because I don't think it's right. I think it should be fight whoever is in front of you, is what it is. All right, Andy, who are you picking in this one?
Well, I was rooting for Thomas Almeida to knock Cody Garbrandt's head through his arse.
Me too.
And because he didn't, he deserves to get beaten in this one. So he can fuck off. So, yeah, Morales. Fuck him.
Fuck him. All right, Almeida, you fucked up, dude. Should have won. But again, two younger guys, and honestly, they're both like 25. I think they're in their early 20s, so they got plenty of time to get better.
I agree with Dave. It could be fight of the night, but I just don't want Almeida to win. I like him as a fighter, and in his next fight, I want him to win. But this one, he deserves to lose because he lost his last one.
There you go, Almeida, motherfucker. Don't lose. How dare you? Anyway,
well, not to Garbrandt anyway. Yeah,
that's true. Anyway, all right, let's move on to the main event. This is a rematch. We got number 4 ranked light heavyweight Ryan Bader against Antonio Nogueira. I'm always saying, I just say Lil Nog. How's that? All right, this is a rematch.
And don't forget, this is supposed to be. This is not the original main event, and even know what the original main event was.
Who's the original? Right? I don't remember.
Mr. Gustafsson.
Oh God!
Oh, Bader Gustafsson. What happened to that? Did he get injured?
Injured, yeah.
No, it was Nog and Gustafsson.
Oh,
was it?
Yeah, I thought it was the other way.
No,
Oh no, he's fought Bader before, isn't he?
Okay,
they're trying to baby Gustafsson back so he could have another title shot, gifted to him again.
Yeah, but look, I'm more interested in seeing.
Shut up.
I'm more interested in Gustafsson, Lil Nog than I am Bader. Lil Nog, Bader's just gonna wrestle fuck him to death, and well, I don't know. Bader's actually had a couple. What he had, like a big knee knockout, I guess, a TV last fight. So maybe he does something impressive. But Lil Nog's got hands, so I don't think he wants to fuck around with Lil Nog like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. So all around here, Jesse, who you picking?
Well, since I got passed over on the last one,
Well, you got passed over. Go ahead, give your pick.
No, wait. Am I really the only one picking Almeida?
No, I picked him too.
Oh, okay. You know what I think? I think that fight is going to be interesting for the fact that I think we're going to see a very muted Almeida.
What are you doing?
I'm doing something right now. Do you want me out of your room? Oh, he's nodding yes. He's kicking me out of his room, the little guy. But I think Almeida is going to be very muted, and I think it's going to be actual, like you guys said, a fight of the night, but that he's going to be a hard-fought win. It should be the main event because it's going to be the more exciting fight. I think this main event, Ryan Bader is going to win, and it's going to be pretty boring. I think it's just going to be him staying away from the punching power of Nogueira and basically just avoiding what we all know is his kryptonite, is getting hit on the chin and getting put to sleep. So he's a pretty smart guy, knowing now that his weakness is getting touched up on the chin, and I think he's going to avoid that at all costs. Sure. So we're just going to see Ryan Bader going straight to the takedowns, very, very rarely, engaging Nogueira in a stand-up affair, and he's just going to, outpoint him for 5 rounds. So extend that DVR time and expect it to be a very, very boring decision.
Or take a nap. Either way, same shit at this point. Dave.
All right, I see this fight going 2 different ways, and I know you guys will hear me out on this one. We all know Ryan Bader, this is his last fight on his UFC contract, which he said that he's going into free agency, win or lose in this one. So
of course
he wants to build his stock up here, get a win against Nog. Bellator signs him to fight Phil Davis for the fucking title or something like that. And in which, like you guys mentioned, he's pretty chinny at times. He can be caught, and he's somewhat of what my man Eugene S. Robinson would say as a gikta or gik, the guy you can't trust.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, Nog's 40 years old, man, but going into this bout, it's a lot on the line for him too, because hey, if he gets a win against Bader, just some weird type of flash knockout, hey, he retires there too as well, and goes out on somewhat of a high note there in his country. So, but it's really just it's either scenario. I see it playing out that way, but for the most part, I see Ryan Bader just going in there and. He's coming off that vicious knee a KO. So, yeah, I give him props on that Ilir Latifi KO because that was like one of the most unexpected things to happen on that event. So props to Bader. And, hey, he wants to pursue free agency and get paid. That's why I threw out the old Phil Davis matchup because, shit, man, Ryan Bader's been in there with all the tough guys in the UFC. He's been on runs. He's got a few fights he got lined up with. There were, trap fights. He got beat. He's always fought the best. I remember him fighting John Jones, or John Jones beat him to become the number 1 contender when John became the champion years ago. So Bader's fought them all, man. So I see it, like I said, both either scenario in which I'm going with Ryan Bader, of course, all the way. But I wouldn't be too shocked if Nog just flash KO'd him and it was a fucking great night in Brazil after that. So,
Andy, the award should have his fight won by then. So we'll get to catch this one for sure. Who you picking in this one?
Well, this is going to be my nighttime send me to sleep fight. So, it'll work I'll be knackered by then. I'll be absolutely fucked. But it's Bader's just going to wrestle him to death basically, and just try and grind him down, isn't he? Is what he's going to do. He's going to keep away from tiny Nog, little Nog, middle Nog. I don't know, egg Nog. Who cares? But they're going to just basically just keep away from his hands, and I don't know. God, they are struggling, aren't they?
Yeah, look, man, it's weird, but here's what I'm gonna do. I look, Bader's probably gonna win and force a decision, right? But I'm calling my shot. Lil Nog's gonna knock his head off. Like Bader's gonna fuck up. Second round, uppercut.
It's not a good day for old Brazilians. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
So Andy, if you're falling asleep, you remember we're calling this Nogueira second round knockout because it's gonna wake you up, man.
Second round KO.
Even that probably wouldn't wake me up.
Yeah, it's not even gonna be a punch, dude. Bader's gonna get a taste of his own medicine. Bader's gonna shoot Lil Nog with the knee, fucking on the ground, fucking ground and pound, and Lil Nog's like, "I'm out this bitch, retired." Drops the mic and walks out in English.
See?
Yeah,
And it's
in
cool.
English.
In that way, we're not like disappointed about the main event. You know, it ends up being a pretty cool scene down in Brazil on either side. But if Bader goes in there and starches him, it'll be kind of a sad atmosphere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Inside that building. But hey, Ryan Bader's looking to get paid, and KO and Nog and going into Bellator. That's a fucking scenario right there. I can easily see happening.
Yeah, Bader's gonna go to Bellator regardless, win or lose. Anyway, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. We're now quickly because I gotta go. We all gotta go. Actually, it's fucking super late for Andy, but it's getting late for everybody else. One prelim fight you want to watch, Jesse?
Wow. On this card,
Yeah.
I'd probably pick the Luis Enrique against Christian Colombo, I think, or Colombo. Just because Enrique is a guy that I think has a lot of upside. He definitely has that Mexican style of just kind of bite down on your mouth guard and push forward and try to knock people out, and just attempt to absorb more damage than his opponent, and eventually his opponent's not going to be able to put up enough damage to put him down. So I think that should be an interesting fight. Man, on this card, it's kind of slim pickings. I think, honestly, in my opinion, the other card, the Hall Musasi, has the much more interesting undercard. This one's just got a lot of people that is just like, who?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's probably likely a lot of guys that are probably on their last fight on their contract or something like that. I don't know if Zuffa booked these or not, but yeah, it sort of seems like it could be
It's
that
Joe
way.
Silva.
Yeah, and then for my pick for fight of the night, it's got to be Pedro Munoz and Justin Scoggins, obviously, because that's a great styles matchup. Scoggins is he's on the KTB list. He's been on there. He's kind of an unknown guy if you're not a real hardcore fan, but Pedro, the young Punisher Munoz, very capable of. He's got a deadly submission game. Former champion of RFA, and I think Justin Scoggins and him are going to battle. Man, that's going to be somebody's getting busted up in that one, and I think it's a finish on either side. But I got to take.
What weight class is that?
It's 135.
135.
Don't you think, though, this is more of a punishment for Munoz, though, putting him so low on the card since he popped for steroids? They kind of haven't really been pushing him because he was on quite of a streak right there, and he'd be on almost a 3-5 fight win streak, I think, until he popped for that steroids, right?
Yeah, good thing you bring that up. Yeah, because Pedro Munoz was definitely a contender. That set him back, in which, I mean, him being low on the card here, it does hurt him because they're not. I mean, but he is the Fight Pass, the early prelim, the main event.
And don't forget how heavily they're pushing Fight Pass prelims at the moment, and they've had some cracking fighters headlining that we've all thought, what are they doing on Fight Pass prelims? So
yeah, and then
they're really pushing
Justin
that.
Scoggins, he's ranked number 11, so Pedro's got a chance to creep into the top 10 right there. If he finishes Justin Scoggins, and like I said, KTB, Justin Scoggins all the way. So look for that bout to be very fucking exciting, and that's my fight of the night, absolutely.
Andy, you got one from prelims?
Nope.
Well, I'm gonna
wait, Andy, you wouldn't want to see Manny Gambirian win?
Johnny Eduardo.
Well, no, I don't. No, shut up. I really don't care. I really don't.
All right,
It's like I say, this is just like hats pulled out, numbers pulled out of a bag, isn't it? This is like, who should we throw together?
Is this?
It seems that way.
Do you guys think this is the company kind of putting together the guys that are like so low ranking and so low numbers that they're like, okay, everybody that loses on this card is getting the boot, pretty much. Like, all right, get them out of here. We need to cut some of these guys.
I think a lot of the people that win the fight are going to get cut, to be honest. Jesus.
Just cut them off.
A couple of them are from that Philippines card, too, that got canceled, I think. A couple bouts on both sides.
Fucking card. They got, like, Belfast and Brazil or whatever. Sao Paulo got, like, the bullshit.
Yeah, oh, yeah. That's what it seems.
So, anyway, all right, my pick's going to be Cesar Ferreira against Jack Hermansson. It has nothing to do with Mutante at all. Hermansson looks like a Swede that just got out of the worst fucking Russian prison, like, ever. He looks like a scary fucker. Like, just look at his picture on UFC.com. Like, that's a guy. That's one of the few white guys I would not want to see in the fucking alley ever. He creeps me the fuck out. Right? Just go look. He looks like he just got out of prison in like the worst Moscow prison you could think of.
Black Dolphin. That's where he's coming from.
The what?
Have you guys ever heard of Black Dolphin prison? That's like one of the worst prisons in fucking Russia, I believe. So
I feel like you spent too much time on the internet, Dave. You know that. I feel that.
Hey, so to wrap this up, we all like the most unlikely thing to occur on either card. On this one, it's safe to say the Nog second round KO, and then the Kamaru Usman finish on the other card. So let's need not forget that those are most unlikely things to occur. On both
I'm going for Usman anyway because while we're on it with Jesse moaning last time that he got picked, I got looked over for that pick as well. So. But I didn't know as a baby.
But Usman finishing is like that's ridiculous. If Usman's able to finish, then that's something.
I'm not gonna have many more opportunities to give my opinion in a couple months here. After our president comes to power.
Hey, the show might it might just be Andy and fucking Fred after a while because he can't get Andy.
Don't leave me with that fucker.
Yeah, he can't get Andy, and Fred's gonna somehow he's gonna start speaking English properly and shit, and can spell words correctly, and his handwriting won't be total shit. I know. He's fucked just like us somehow. He's gonna get screwed. He's gonna get swept out with me and Jesse easily. Anyway, yeah. All right. Well, it's gonna do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. You can follow Jesse at Spawat1983. Dave is at Dave's MMA Brief, and Andy doesn't give a fuck. And you can follow me
watch Lion Fight tonight. Watch Lion Fight.
Lion Fight.
And Bellator tomorrow. Guys, Bellator tomorrow.
That's a good card.
And root for Jake Purdy. Jake Purdy in Lion Fight tonight. Root for him.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Here's a fun one. Mike George just said, Dana White confirmed that McNugget won't be fighting before May when his baby's due.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck is that?
Yep.
Oh, goddamn it. All right. Well,
why? He's not the one having the baby. How's that going to
That's what I'm fucking saying. What the fuck? Anyway. All right.
Oh, no. We forgot to mention Ian McCall. He won't be fighting for the third.
Oh, yeah. How, that's just the worst luck ever. Like, fuck.
Yep.
How did that work out? God damn, dude.
Retirement for Mr. Uncle Creepy.
I don't know about that.
He can go on and carry on with his podcast. He's got a podcast show.
Yeah, he's got a new podcast. I can't get through it. It's hard to listen to be honest with you.
Really? I've never heard it before, but the hollowed halls of Sprawhalla and the MMA gods have kind of sent him a message, huh? Isn't it 3 fights in a row now?
Three or four, fights? I'm not sure. I think it's 3. The last 2 were his opponents pulled out. Somebody didn't make weight on one of them, and then the other one, someone got sick or something, and then now he's sick.
Jeez.
Yeah, he ate some bullshit like salmon or something. There's like a picture of like the food that he ate.
Oh no!
Supposedly got sick from. So
is this who was it that had the egg, the raw steak or whatever and got sick? What the fuck? Who was it? It was one of your guys.
Time out. This is fucking common sense shit. You don't eat fish in a different country. You know nothing about like.
What are you saying about British fish? Oi, fuck off.
No. I said raw. No, it was raw steak, right? Dave, it was one of your guys, wasn't it? Oh God.
A NUSADA violation, you mean, or just pertaining to like a fight cancellation? You're saying?
Yeah, it was a fight cancellation, and he said that it was because he ate raw steak the day before or something after weigh-ins.
That's some dumb shit to do, though. Think about it.
Because I know that. You know what, Mickey? Remember the story of the Cleveland, the UFC card in there? How the elevator trapped those guys, and
that was awesome.
Okay, along the lines of that hotel, like that hotel is just straight bad luck. Because I think like there was a refrigerator that was fucking out, and I think Mickey Gall was sick when he fought that night too against CM Punk. So like, yeah, so there's like never ever stay at that fucking hotel.
Diego Sanchez.
Yo, that says more about fucking about CM Punk than Mickey Gall. CM Punk gonna beat a guy on an upset stomach. It's fucked up.
It was Diego Sanchez, but he didn't pull out. He was just he had diarrhea the whole time. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about it. Just because I don't remember who the fight was. It against Lozon at 200 or who was it?
Well, that's when he got knocked the fuck out.
I don't remember, but yeah, he was like he was clenching his butt cheeks. He said the whole time because he had diarrhea.
That's fucked up. Can you imagine you shit yourself in the octagon? You cannot live that out. Like you can't live the past that. You just end it right there. That's fucking over for you.
I thought, didn't it happen to Yoel Romero or something?
Yoel Romero shit himself, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's a sweat stain." I'm like, "No, that's shit, bro." All right, okay. Sweat doesn't just come out of that one area. Your whole body sweats. All right, it comes at this one spot. You shit yourself. Just own up to it, dude. What the fuck?
And it's not discolored either.
Yeah, that was just weird. I was just weird as fuck. Anyway, All right. Well, it's going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll catch you guys next Wednesday for MMA Advocates. So everyone have a good night. Enjoy MMA weekend because we got MMA and boxing weekend. So enjoy.